energy potential that's latent in the physical vacuum, as determined by people like John Wheeler and David Bohm and many other individuals who are no longer with us, but who calculate what is required to be in the physical vacuum in order to have quantum mechanics and relativity theory to be internally self-consistent. These numbers came out to be something like 10 to the 94 grams equivalent of energy per cubic centimeter, with each gram, using Einstein's equation of E equals mc squared. Now, you can make a sum to look at this. You can say, let's take the average matter density, electric atom molecule matter density in the universe. Astronomers can tell us what that is. So we have a number. And you multiply that by the volume of the universe, 15 billion light years radius. And you get a number, okay? And now, on the other hand, if you take a single hydrogen atom, mostly empty space, so you take the volume of that space and you multiply it by the 10 to the 94 grams per cc, and you find that you get another number. And this number is millions of times greater than that number. So it says that even in that infinitesimal amount of vacuum, there is more latent energy potential than all the mass and all the planets and all the stars and all the interspaces between heavenly bodies out to as far as we can see with our telescopes.
The Tibetans have a notion of the void, but
Yes.
they say the void is not empty. Now, what is this vacuum you're talking about, and how does it relate to
This is the physical vacuum. Okay, the physical vacuum is just absence of electric atom molecule particles.
But is it populated with
It's populated by antimatter and matter.
And what about dark matter and dark energy?
Well,
is that part of this?
It's all part of it. Okay, Dirac was the first one to say, where does an electron come from? And he said it comes from the negative energy sea in the physical vacuum. And when there's nothing there, in essence, or at least in our environment, he postulated that a cosmic ray would come through the vacuum and it would excite the generation of an electron and an anti-electron. Okay? That is out of nothing in the form of matter, but just adding sufficient energy, you could make an electron. And then with another energy, you can make a proton. With another energy, et cetera, you make neutrons. And before you know it, it's materialization by that source. He was able to calculate the energy of the electron when he did this back in about 1931, 31, 99.9% correct. Physicists didn't like it. He left out a particular piece in the calculation of sort of self-energy for the photon, and I won't go into the details, but they can't grasp the concept of negative energy. They can understand positive energy, etc. They've worked with it for such a long time. So they basically have not, although Dirac won the Nobel Prize for this because antimatter was discovered a few years after he postulated it, they don't like his model for the reason I mentioned. But you know, so much of what he said was correct, and I have expanded his model to include in this duplex space, this next level, this reciprocal subspace, which, by the way, is a frequency domain. 1 over distance is a number per unit distance, which means a spatial frequency. 1 over time is number per unit time, which is a temporal frequency. So, in essence, the reciprocal space part is a frequency domain, which means it's everywhere and every when, which is very interesting for non-locality, very interesting for long-range entanglement, spatial entanglement, and also time entanglement. And we see both of those, in our experimental data.